Hi and welcome to part 4 of the Otter tutorial. So in this session what we'll do is we will continue working on the foreground here and sort of make some more progress on that. So what I've done is I've just zoomed into the bottom part so that you can see what I'm doing. So we were going with the more obvious shapes. So I think I might have a go looking into that one a bit more. And I'm going to go with the Pastel 706 because I want to make it slightly darker along here. So just slightly darker towards the edge here. And then what I want to do is just pull it up lightly like that, so it just blurs, you know, the further away it gets from there. And then so we've got that corner part, so it's always seeing something different when you come back to it. And then just because the corner bit sort of stands out a bit more. And just come across here. So it just comes down slightly. I'm just gonna sort of just dab into that. And then for this final corner bit, it's slightly darker on the edge there. Okay, and then I'm going to use the Pastel 110. And I just want to blend on the corner a bit more. So I'm just keep checking that reference photo. And then just blend that. Just pushing it into the surface a bit more. And just sort of bring that down into that darker area a bit. And then just go over that again. So I don't want it so harsh. What I want to do is I want to be sort of going lighter, then going into the darker shadow, so just on like a gradient. Okay, that's fine. And I'll just do that slightly in there as well. Okay, we can sort of tidy that up once we've worked in around here. So let's have a look. I'm going to go in with, to start with, I think I'm going to go in with the Pastel 704, and I'm going to sharpen it because there's a very tiny gap there. Right. There's not much of a gap there, but I just want to sort of show it slightly. So we got that bit that's come down there. I'm going to sort of include that in that part as well. Okay, and then we're going to move on to that bit there. So what do I want? Actually, I'm going to start in with the Carbothello 681, and what we're doing is we've got coming around here, and it comes in like that. So we're just like sketching a rough kind of like outline of it. Now that line there does actually form part of this pebble. Right, so we want it to go down there. Okay, and we're going to just get a new, not a new one, but a cleaner. Just going to clean the edge of the blending stump. So I'm just using the sandpaper for that, and I'm just sort of rubbing it in like that. But I'm going to pull it away because I don't want it to go all over the picture. Right. So got a clean blending stump. I'm gently just pushing that in. And then I'm going to use some white just to sort of blend it down a bit here. Because it does seem a bit lighter. Okay, and then I'm just going to push that in as well, just gently. I'm just going to add another layer of the Carbothello. So yeah, we used the white Carbothello, which is the 100, and now we're using the 681 Carbothello. And I just want to sort of build that up a bit around circular movements with the pencil. And then use the Carbothello 700, sort of like a warm grey one that looks like, because it goes slightly darker. I'll just blend that. I'm just going to go in with the, not that one, the 610 Carbothello, which is the brown. I just want to sort of come in up here and just add that a bit darker, just add some darker areas around here. And I can also see we've got, I just want to add a bit more in with this 681. And then we're just pushing that into the surface. Let's get another blending stump and just sort out that dark brown. Okay. Right, I'm just going to sort of sketch in, excuse me, using the, actually, I'm going to use the 105. I'm just going to sharpen it a minute. Because what I actually want to do is kind of map in some of those shapes. So we've got one coming in there. So there's that one there. Then we've got one that's coming down. So that comes in around there. So this will give us an idea of roughly where we're going with it. Doesn't have to be perfect. So, and then in there we've got, actually, let me go in with the 110 Carbothello. So for the grey ones, I'm just going to use something slightly different. So that's that. So it's actually quite pinky around here. So I'm just going like that. I've got a bit of, there's a little bit of brown. Let me just sketch that in slightly. So that's the Carbothello 610. And I'll just move in some Carbothello 720. Just want to bring that in there as well. Right, that's that. So then so just like around, so that's the claw there. And there's going to be another bit there. Just going to bring that there. So of course we've got some more pink coming in there. Okay, and then I use the 110, and just around there we've got that grey. And then we have to be careful around here because we've got I think coming in here is going to be part of the otter. So that's coming in around there. So that may or may not be I think, yeah, that's going to be in pastel actually. Yeah. Oh. And then we've got another bit coming in around there. So we've got the line just there. And then we've got just kind of like all different like shades and that there. Then we will be, so that's actually like a gap in the line, so that's the like a brownie colour 610. So if I mark that off, okay, we'll blend that later. And then we've got one coming down here, and it's going to be like that. Excuse me. Then we've got, and that's actually a shape, a darker shape as well, which we'll plot in. So we can just add the kind of like the odd out of focus blending in there. I'm just sketching rough sort of stone shapes that we've got. Got a bit coming out there. Okay. So I'm going to leave that there for now. Just going to work on this bit. So, so I mentioned up there that that's actually going to be like a pinky colour. So I would say it's going to be the brown 610. So we've got a bit that's coming around. And then we've got a bit sort of coming in there as well, which is right near the turtle Otter's claw. I don't know where that came from. And we're going to just sort of want to blend that first of all. Blend that and blend that. And we're going to do the same here. So then I'm going to come in with the 681. I'm just going to come into this section here. Okay, we're getting some really nice shapes there now actually. Where, you know, where we've got like the lighter parts and then we've got the darker areas around as well. So I'm really pleased with how that's looking. Just want to bring that in there a bit and then into there. Right. And then we're just pushing this gently into the surface. So although we got that lighter part there, that's fine because we'll be building that up, and it'll also be okay as part of the contrast. Just build that up a bit more. Actually, I need to put some in there as well. Right, let's get a cleaner. That's with the cleaner one I was using. There we go. Just going to use the very side rather than the tip. Right, I want to get some light grey, so I'm going to use the warm grey one, which is the 700. Just want to get some of that in there as well. Okay, and then let's just build up this pink area. So I'm going to use the 100, the white, just build that up a bit more. I'm just going to blend that in together. And I'm going to use the cold grey 1-pit pastel pencil. Just want to sharpen that a moment. I think that sharpener's on its way out. Right, okay. So I'm just adding in some depth, so it's not such a flat white colour, not white, but you know, bright colour. So when it gets to about there, it's a bit slightly darker, so I'm just going to use that on there, and then I use the Carbothello 720. So you might find this is a bit sort of doing our these sort of out of focus shapes with pastel. One, if you're not used to using pastel pencils, it might feel a bit alien to you, but also we're kind of like not really sort of making any kind of like overall detail here. Not like we do when we're with, you know, we're working with the doing the animals details. So I'm just pulling that into there, and a little into there as well. I'm going to use the Carbothello 706 because I want to start sort of bringing that in a bit to work around it. Right, that one will be fine. Just push that in. See, it's coming together all the time. Each time, like, we're adding all these different tonal values and shapes and that. Oh, it's, you know, it's all coming together. We're getting a step nearer to sort of moving across and that. Just gonna have a drink. Okay, right, so then I'm going to move in with the 708, so it's a bit of a darker one. choose that one. So we've got the darker bit at the edge here. And then what I'm going to do is use the 720 just to sort of just go careful, don't make this too dirty. Actually it's just coming out darker. It looks a lot darker because of the 110 we used. I'm just gonna sort of come in over that darker edge. And just blend that in, sort of push that into the surface. If you're finding that your previous colour pastel is going onto that surface, then just give your blending stump or whatever you're using a clean, or if you're using a cotton bud, then just, you know, use a cleaner tip. I'd like to sort of go in with something a bit lighter, so I'm going to use the 110. And let's have a look at one. Yeah, let's use that end. So I'm just gonna sort of bring that other lighter colour in that we used to sketch shapes. Right, and then just sort of build that up a bit more. Just have to go careful not to make the that's it, there's a bit of a dirty mark on that on the point of the pencil. Okay, and it's slightly darker, so I'm going to use 720, and it's slightly darker like over here, going around there. So I'm not going to push that colour in anymore because that's some of our detail. And then I'm just going to add a bit there as well. Let's just add a bit of white to that. I just want to, where's that darker one? Yeah, just going to sort of bring that down into the darker area slightly, just to sort of blend it so it's just not so prominent. And I'm going to use the 704 because just a very slight sort of tinge of it, and that one we are going to blend. Okay, so that's that, and then actually let's just have a look to see what's available. In here, so I'm just having a look through my other the rest of the set of pastels. Ooh. I am probably going to put these in a drawer at some point. Right. Lovely selection of browns and that. Let's have a look. Maybe that's a bit too purpley. Okay, let's have a look at this one. So it won't be a moment. Could try that one. Is it much different to that one? Not really, no. So I'm trying to choose different sort of shades of brown to use. I wonder if, see now. Let's just see about that one. Yeah, I can see that over there. Okay, I think we'll leave it at that for the moment. Right. Okay, so let's carry on moving with that piece there. So this is kind of looks like a raw umber 615. I'm comparing it to the Polychromos pencils, but it's either that or a brown ochre. So I'm just going to sort of add some colour, just like in between there. And then just bring that on there. I think it might be more of a brown ochre. Okay, and what I want to do, excuse me, keep chopping and changing. I want to pull this colour into here a bit more. And then sort of create some kind of sort of, this is the 720, so to sort of bring some of the grey over here. What I don't want this to look like is, I don't want it to look like it's dirty. So just over there. And then I'm going to use the 610 over here because I can sort of see some of that coming through. Let's just push that in so it doesn't stand out too much. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some more white so that I can do a little bit of grey in here. Just going to make sure that that's, because I think the white will actually add a good layer for the grey. So at the moment I'm just sort of placing the colour. And just on there as well. If you're using the pastel pencils and you're getting sort of the feeling that it's, you know, running away from you a bit, don't worry too much. It will all come together. Sometimes when we're sort of choosing and, you know, using a new method, it can sort of feel, you know, make us feel like we're totally out of our comfort zone. And like I said, don't worry too much. It will all come together. So I'm just doing different shapes around here. Like that. And that's kind of like changed the dynamic of the of that area again. So I'm very gently going to smooth it out, not pushing it too heavily into the surface. And like I said, it doesn't actually have to be exactly the same, because as the reference photo, because, you know, all of those colours in that picture, we are more than likely not going to have them available in our pencil set, and that's why we just go for the nearest ones. So that's kind of like made that quite interesting, actually. I'm just going to add a bit of the 110 into that part there. And excuse me, I'm going to use the 615 on this corner bit. So I'm going to use one of the cleaner ones for this part. and just add a little bit of brown in there, I think. So that's the 610. Okay, right, what's that one there? The Pitt Pastel Pencil 270. I just want to come in there a bit more of that. There's a little bit in there. I'm just going to sort of blend it over, just do bits in there, just to sort of tone down that brown there. Like that. And I'm just going to come back in with a bit of white. Okay, let's have a look at that bit there. So I'd like to add a bit more of the 270 Pitt Pastel pencil. So I'm just going to bring that in through there. So we've got that little bit done. Now I'm going to come in and do this bit here. So using the white, the 100, if you go into the other areas, it's not the end of the world, because we can obviously sort of build it up a bit more. And just keep doing that round circular movement with the pencils. And of course, that looking at that, it looks like it kind of like blends into there anyway. Just going to bring this up a little bit. Don't worry about those whiskers, because they'll be added in at the end once we finish the drawing. And of course this part here, I'm just going to mark that bit in with the white. Just go careful that you don't go into the actual otter itself. So I just wanted to get that bit sorted. So I'm just sort of marking that bit out as well. Okay. So first we're going to push this into the surface. And then this part as well. Okay, let's just bring that together. Even though they're not joined, the background is lighter. Like that. I'm just going to sort of bring it in towards there as well. Right. I've got a pale brown. So I'm looking at my Pitt Pastel pencils at the moment. That's more like terracotta. What's that one? Nope. No, I think that's Caput Mortem. What's that one? Terracotta. I don't think that one. What's this one? It's a bit yellowy brown. Oh, actually, what's that one? Well, that one I think will do it. Right. So I'm just having a look because I've got some other pastels here, but no, I think that's too dark. Okay, right, I've actually found. So I found this one, 182. I can tell you what that is, I think. Brown ochre for the pastel, for the Pitt Pastel pencil. So I just think I just might come in and do some more with this part. I do love my Pitt Pastel pencils. I like the Carbothello ones as well, but I don't know, I just sort of tend to sort of lean towards the Pitt Pastel pencils. Probably similar way as like I do with the actual polychromos. Right, let's just get that going into there a bit. Just to sort of give it some shape. I know what'll work. 105 on the Carbothello. Let's just tone that down. Okay, and then just going to use it on here as well. And then just sort of bring it up here. You don't have to actually have pastel pencils to do this section. If you've got the stick pastels, you can use those as well. They'll be just as good. Right, I'm just actually going in and adding that base layer in as well. Just need to sort of go careful again with the otter. Okay, so let's find, oh yeah, we use that one to gently push this in to the tooth. So it's got we're getting some like interesting shapes there, and actually gonna add some of the 182 into here. So we've not finished around here yet. I just want to sort of add this colour to it. Yeah, I use that one. And we're just pushing that gently in as well. And I'm going to go back in with the 105 because I want to build around that layer. So that makes it a bit darker. And let's just lightly move that in. And we'll build up with the white, which is the 100, around that area. And I think I'll go in with some of the grey to sort of, you know, come in with the shadow part. So let's just see which grey that I want. Actually, I'm thinking of the 704. So it's going to be around this area. And around here. And I'm going to gently push that in. It needs to sort of be dulled down a bit, because I think at the moment it's looking a bit like a fried egg. So we just need to sort of make that less bright. So I am going to use, where is it? Oh yeah, the 110. So let's just work that in. Go careful again. I know I keep saying it, but just go careful of that line art. I'm just gonna bring that in there. And then I'm going to use the 105. And I'm just, there it is. Going to go in with the 182. I want to make it sort of slightly darker around here, so it looks like you've got like a bit of a shadow coming in just around there as well. And I'm just going to lightly dab at that. And maybe sort of come up with a 681 around this part. And then some of the white. And then the 105 again, I'm just going to come in around here. And also the 681 again. It's kind of got like a sort of pinky-ish feel to it. Just go in with the white. And it's just dull that bit down as well, because I don't know if I've sort of stopped talking so much, where I've been sort of concentrating. So if I have, sorry about that. Got totally lost in the drawing there. So I want to dull down that darker grey that we've been we use as the shadow. And where do I want to use that? So let's go in with the 720, because that's slightly lighter than what we had. Let's come in with the 105. Okay. Oh, and we've gone over. Right, okay, so next time around, because we've clearly haven't finished around here, we'll finish this and incorporate that, and we'll sort of build up more in there. So hopefully we should get that bit finished that next time, and maybe sort of get a start on some of the rest of the area. So I hope you're enjoying it, and I will see you in the next video.